Dukes of Weepdom.
Dukes of Weepdom.
Episode 102. Welcome in. Straight into manga this time because we got distracted last week and we said that we'd cover our mangas.
Well, I guess I won't talk about the slow passage of time then. So I can't believe it's 102. Feels like yesterday was 100.
Wouldn't that be quick passage of time?
Yes.
Slow passage
Manga.
of time?
It's manga time.
Yes. Well, right before I clicked the record button, you mentioned a surprise.
No, I started a new manga.
Oh, would you start?
So, you know how you find those really weird romance mangas that are like slightly dark for no reason?
Me?
Yes, you.
Yes.
You.
Yes.
Specifically, not the listener. You.
Yes.
Someone showed me a boys' love one.
There you go.
Yes. It is. Actually,
Lay it
let
on
me get
me.
the name first.
Give me the synopsis.
It's probably still in my open tab. No, that's flannel. So I actually want to grab the name before I even start talking about it.
Your phone ain't gonna load though. Oh, there you go.
Oh yeah, that's the Japanese, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
I'm too cringe and white. I want the American. Oh, the summer Hikaru died.
Oh, yeah.
It was only said to me like a billion times before, but ADHD. But it's about those two boys.
Hey, at least they look normal, and one's not super young, and one's not.
And they're not like orange haired or something like that too. No, and the fucking art on this. The fucking art on this. Like, that's the first page. That was even like a big thing to even like.
It's weird. It's good. It's
Yeah.
just the mouth on that specific image. Yeah.
Okay, I didn't even know I was about to click. This is the
All right,
chapter I'm on.
so lay it on me. What's the?
So it literally starts out with the white-haired one had already died, is being parasitized by some sort of monster. Out the gate. Already, like they're dead.
So the boy's dead, and he's got a parasite living in him that's making him alive. So
yes,
it's boy
and
love.
it still has like his memories and personality, but the consciousness of the monster.
Okay.
Yeah, right.
Cool.
And like they weren't like together before, but there's like there's a little spark there. There's a little spark there. So, and then the monster literally confesses its love. It's like, hey, I got all these feelings for you now from all of this.
And the other dude's just normal?
Yes. And he's almost like, well, he's grieving, obviously.
The fact that his
friend is dead. He's actually the one that figured it out, too. Like, it shows them just, like, hanging out. Eventually, he's sitting there. He's just like, you know, you don't act like him at all. And the guy literally just like, you figured it out, like the monster, like.
So these monsters are known?
No, the monster doesn't even know what it is. I just used the word monster for lack of a better word. It could be an alien. It could be a virus.
Interesting.
It has been very good.
It's like that. Well, it's not like that, but you said that the monster. What's that? I'm pretty sure it's a boy love thing.
I wonder if I can duplicate this tab.
The dubes with a legit monster, like a werewolf type monster.
Okay, it's not pupa. Thank God. Sorry.
Isn't pupa the one where the sister keeps eating the brother?
Yes.
Because she needs to. He's like endlessly regenerates, and she needs to devour humans or some shit.
Yes.
No, it's not that. There's a manga.
You want to get some chapter 1 examples for you?
Oh, like.
Yeah.
Images.
First of all, again, cute. But, so, second page, third page, fourth page, fifth page, sixth page, seventh page.
Oh, his face just like melted off. I like that page.
That transition.
Yeah, I like that. That's nice.
Apparently, it started as a webtoon, too. Not on the app webtoon, but it was posted to, like, a site for its primary publication and then got printed into volumes.
Then he hugs him and says, don't tell a soul, please.
Yeah. I don't want to have to kill you.
Yeah, huh?
Yeah, huh? And in the grieving one, it's pretty much in denial, being like, man, is it so bad if I just pretend to have that person close to me? Not in like full denial, like he's still self-aware of how fucked up that is.
Yeah, he definitely, the black-haired kid looks depressed the entire manga. I didn't read anything, but I just clicked through all the images.
And this is one thing actually, like in the second chapter, it starts out with like a whole shitload of flashbacks. Oh, it didn't start out with it, but it has like a whole shitload of flashbacks of him thinking about his actual friend. Sorry, the art's so good though.
The art is fantastic, yes.
So I kept getting sent like pictures, and I'm just like, this is amazing. Where has this been? So I'm on chapter 3 of that.
You're on chapter 3?
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Nice.
I'll probably be reading that all of tonight instead of all the things I should have read for today.
Yeah, I didn't. This week I haven't found. And last week I talked about all the random stuff that I had been finding for new mangas to read or whatever, but I think I just closed one back.
It's just funny though, because I did think of you. I'm like, hey, this is kind of like all the Yuri he reads, and not Yuri he reads.
Dude, I do find some weird fucking
You
stuff.
do, and you're always so excited to find some weird fucking stuff. Like, don't even be pretending to be bashful.
Is this it?
It's like every single time you're like, I found a new romance. I'm like, oh, cool, it's gonna be sweet, isn't it?
I think this is. Let me see, because this is the newest mug that I just found that I'm interested in. It's a drama suspense synopsis. It's called My Dear Self with Malice Afterthought.
I was laughing at that.
Urasama is a college student with a dark past. As a child, his entire life was turned upside down when the world found out that his father, Makoto, was actually a heinous serial killer named LL, who kidnapped and brutalized young women. One day, E.G. wakes up with no memory of the past few days, finding himself with a new girlfriend, newfound respect for from the college bully, a mysterious bag of cash, and a bloodied, broken bat secretly stashed away in his bedroom. At the same time, there is news of a murder committed similar to LL serial killings. E.G. must uncover what has happened in the days he has no memory about, as sins of his father start haunting him again.
Indigo Prophecy. Sorry, it reminded me of an old game.
Oh, nice.
Yes. That sounds interesting.
Yeah. It's a Kodansha manga.
I'm assuming you're not reading it on K-Manga then.
I haven't read it. I opened a Google tab.
Yeah.
But yes, no. I
assume you won't be reading it on K-Manga.
No, because Manga Dex is right there with it, so I'll probably
That's
read
why
it
I'm
on
reading
that.
this thing.
I have so many open tabs of Manga Dex. It's
actually pretty
honestly
goated,
ridiculous.
not gonna lie.
Yeah.
The first one I went to hit me with the good old pop-ups of doom, so...
Yeah, you get those a bunch. But
It's been a while
to go through it. Like a lot of so if I find a webtoon that I want to read that's not on the webtoon app, that's when you really get plagued with fucking pop-up ads.
Yeah.
But I'm reading Childhood Friend of the Zenith. That's really good.
I remember you telling me about that.
Yeah, I like it. What I actually really like too about webtoons is a lot of the webtoon websites, including webtoons itself. I love the fact that there's a comment section at the bottom of every chapter, and they do that on the pirate websites as well. So I love reading what everyone says about the current chapter. Webtoons only shows the top 3. I'll read the top 3. I look at the top 3 comments. Maybe, depending if it's a really good chapter, I might click all, look at some replies and stuff, and really see the discourse.
I'm pretty sure the site I was watching Blue Lock on would show the top 3, but there's a show more button. But I would still just read the top 3, move on.
Right, and I actually really like doing that. And for Childhood Friend of the Zenith, a lot of people just don't like the pace, and it is kind of a slow pace, but I don't keep up with it so much. So the last time I read it, I read 3 chapters. I had 3 chapters to read, so it comes out weekly, and I just read it when I read it. And sometimes I have more than one. So I'm not too bothered by the pacing, which they're right. It's probably been like this new arc that they're in, right? He had to... Basically, the dude comes to this mountain pass to return something, and he had to talk to some dude here to try and progress the plot. And that's basically it. And that's been 6 chapters. So people are like, what is... Like, they're like, what is going on? And, like, again, it's not something that I hyper follow. So if I was, and, like, this was, like, the main thing I was reading...
If you didn't have 12 other mangas to read...
I'd be furious, too. But I like the artwork's really good. I like... Especially, the characters are good. And I like the main theme of it. So I like the mysteries of what's unfolding.
Yeah.
And, I'm sticking with it. So,
yeah.
And it doesn't seem to be slowing down anytime soon. So I'm on it.
Hell yeah. Again, you have plenty of stuff in the meantime, too.
Yeah, and even on Webtoons, I just found a new Webtoon that was interesting.
This is why I don't browse. I'm sad enough I found another new series to read. I didn't read the last new series I had to read.
So I have 2 new ones. Where is it? What the fuck? It's not in here. No, now I'm gonna have to go find it again. I hate sometimes when you read the first, like, I'll click on a chapter on Webtoon and just scroll through the first chapter just to get it in, like, my history, and sometimes it doesn't save it. It's not fucking in my series or continue reading, so now I'm gonna have to try. I probably screenshot it or like the video.
So you just scared me. I'm like, oh, I hope to God it didn't lose my Tower of God progress.
Mine's still there, and I haven't read it in forever. Last read 187 days ago.
Let me see.
One of them
209 days ago? Has it really been that fucking long, man?
I don't think it's been that long, because the last time I clicked on it was when we were talking about it. And we were talking about, because that's when you were reading it. 209 days.
Did you open any chapters, though, when that conversation happened?
Yeah, probably. Because, again, I haven't read it since before you came back with your new kickback of Tower of God, when you were, like, reading a bunch.
When you think about it, 209 days isn't even a year.
It's pretty close. It's like
short. 365.
Oh, so it's like 7-8 months.
Yeah, I think that actually lines up kind of good.
Yeah. All right, so yeah, maybe. But the other new Webtoon that is here is...
oh, hello.
Mythic Item Obtained, which you just despise it, so...
Thank you for recognizing that. I didn't even process the name until you finished saying I would despise it. But I was like, that was the banner.
Nice.
So I'm like, hey.
There you go.
More boys love. Oh my God.
Oh,
I haven't been on Webtoons in too long. What the hell's going on?
Aha, the spark in your eyes. I subscribed to it.
Nice. I'm hitting subscribe a lot right now.
So so I watched a YouTube short about it. That's how I found it. And if I remember correctly, based on the synopsis of that, it's takes place post-war. So there's this big war that happened, and it's a main female lead, and she was like, picture like the Yellow Flash in Naruto, where it's like his reputation in that war is like, and like he's the hero, but to the enemies, he's this fucking monster. So that was her.
More on that later.
Oh, okay.
KaguraBachi.
Oh,
continue.
Yes.
Yes.
But so the war's over, but now she's hated on like both sides, even her own. So she just wanders around, and then she's like taken in by some alchemist or pharmacist or some dude, medicine maker.
Does he have a sexy horse skull for a head? Sorry.
No, that's Ancient Magus Bride.
I know. He's so hot. Continue.
But I guess she killed his father, and that's like the twist, and like he doesn't know that. She doesn't know that yet, but I guess it comes out at some point pretty early on, and it's...
That reminds me of Frenchie and the Boys.
I don't know Frenchie and the Boys, so...
From The Boys.
Oh, Frenchie from the... yeah.
Yep.
Okay. So it's something like that, so I was like, it's interesting enough. The art's pretty good. We'll give it a go. If that's what I remember it being. Again, this is like a week ago that I saw this short.
Seraph of the End at Home.
Just read me already?
I mean, look at it. Is that not you and Mikasa right there?
Yeah, but that's literally what it's called. Just read me already?
Yeah, I mean... That's not what I clicked. That's not what I clicked. There we go.
Please be about vampires.
It's probably going to be about books.
Probably, but please be about vampires. That'd be hilarious. Is it about vampires?
I get at least. That would be fucking funny because the last one I opened also was about vampires. Oh no, it's awful.
Does it?
It sure does.
Brief summary.
Just
Get it out.
300 years to open a book. When the book was opened, it killed someone, and then the book left. And now the place the book is at opens, and a girl approaches, and then I stopped reading.
It sounds horrendous.
I mean, they were using the word grimoire, but a book by any other name is just as booky.
There's so many other stuff that I need to read too that I'm just like, I need to.
That's not a woman. Neither of you are women.
I need to stop finding new stuff, but I keep. Oh yes, it's so good. It's not. It clicked. Oh wait, it is. Yeah,
yes,
Stellar Swordmaster. Yeah, it's so good. I'm almost caught up. I'm like 4 chapters behind. What's that?
No, it was me reading the synopsis for it. Just making sure that wasn't full of bullshit.
Oh, this Stellar Swordmaster? Yeah. It is not an isekai. It is a fantasy!
Yeah, but that doesn't excuse it from video game screens, apparently. Those have infested
There are no video screens!
I'm back, baby!
And it's actually about, like, knights and, like, learning knighthood stuff and actual swords, and the magic system is, like, more of a softer magic. I mean, there is magic, but it's softer than most.
I prefer that nowadays, with everyone and their mother having the hardest magic systems. There's just so much goddamn romance on here.
On Webtoons?
Yeah. I cannot wait to rip through this. Once again. Sorry, Tower of God. You could have canonized my boy's love. You probably still should, too. I guess he has Dorsey, but...
I'll take Kuhn over fucking... If they do anything with Rachel again, I'll find you.
Kuhn's been there the whole time. Give it to my boy Kuhn. Rock's the best friend.
Shit. Fucking, I would take Bam going with Jihad before Rachel.
I'm sure there's art of it.
Me too, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But
I'm sure it started happening the moment the digital saga happened. Or, I said saga, but you know what I mean.
Excuse me. Yeah, but, yeah. Or Karaka.
You know!
Ugh. But, no. I got, like... I'm interested in reading 20th Century Boys. I got my Berserk volume.
Sorry.
Fucking big. No,
I'm holding that one up.
Not really, because if I actually really wanted to read it, I would just fucking read it.
That's true. You should wait for that Visbig, though. Some of the pages are colored and everything. It's really nice.
And holding a book in your hands
Feels so good.
does feel a lot better than scrolling.
It does. The only thing I hate now, and because of Jujutsu Kaisen did it to me, is the page fold now. I became so aware of that middle seam in the book because of those Gege 3-part divided full pages, where it shows like 3 characters' faces. Well, when that's in a book, you don't see the middle guy anymore.
Or double page spreads look so much like. Try reading Dan to Dan. There's 2 double page spreads every chapter.
Speaking of things that'll come later,
I didn't read this week's chapter.
I actually posted about this week's chapter.
Oh, nice.
It's okay.
Yeah,
It's
no,
okay.
I read because I went on earlier today. I was like, oh, I gotta read some stuff. There's some stuff I didn't read, but we're so far behind. I wasn't too focused on it.
I read like 15 chapters today.
Yeah, nice. So I started Dan, but then I put it down. We ate dinner. Then I was like, oh, it's 6 o'clock. I got plenty of time to play one exact match in any game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
trust me, I played like 2 hours of Monster Hunter before I started reading my manga.
So yeah, I played one match predecessor, and then I was like, oh, I still got enough time to play a brawl match, basically arena. So I was like, so I did that, and then I was like, fuck, I gotta get you in 10 minutes, and I had to read. So I read one Dan and I read the newest KaguraBachi.
Good.
KaguraBachi, though, we'll get to it, but when I was reading that chapter...
I think we're going to be getting to it, like, now.
Okay.
If you want to just get to it now.
We'll keep this week's chapter for last, because we need to talk about the hotel stuff first and
yes.
not consider it. But,
what's her face? Iori.
Yeah, reading this week's chapter, though, I swear I felt like the chapter was going to end, and I was like, oh, this chapter's already over. Or it should be over now. I've been reading forever, and I click. I'm like, oh, I'm on page 6.
Yeah, what a dump.
Yes,
a good one, but
yes. So, all right, let me bring up the chapter.
I think we're like 4 chapters back. That's what we need to start at. Oh yeah, you know what? We have to start a while back because there was some we read and just didn't even talk about too. The whole Hirohiko fight. You're right. The whole hotel fight. Because I even specifically told you I wanted to talk about it.
Yes, let me see. Well, I'm going to go back to 68. Did we talk about 68?
The last we talked about it was when they revealed how Hirohiko fights, switching his hands and switching his grips constantly to make it unpredictable.
Yeah, so we didn't talk about them fighting inside the elevator.
No.
Because that was boss.
So I think this is literally the last time we talked about it.
Oh, right when they were
opened up. Oh, wait, no. Sorry, one chapter after that, because that's when the fight starts and the whole hand-holding thing happens. Where Chihiro figures out how Hirohiko fights.
Yes, so starting on 69. It's got to be 69 to 72, because it's 4 chapters. Has it really been a month since we talked about KaguraBachi?
It easily could be.
Well, yeah, because the friend shut up. I'm sorry,
yes.
Bud. I don't know your name.
Oh, I'm not even going to bother committing it to memory.
Oh, come on.
He was good. He was a good character. Don't get me wrong. It's just we're probably not going to see him past 5 chapters from now.
He came to save Iori, though.
It was really cute. I did not expect to see him again, too. Like, that came out of completely nowhere. It was so sweet.
Yeah. So we got a friend comes in, runs up to her. He got the key. And in the same chapter, in the same chapter, gets the key and gets to the roof and delivers it. And I'm like, dude,
what a G.
You're good in my book, bud.
Man, Hokuzona's just so goated. And
then her desire to protect that ordinary life and shatter the lock and boom, bitch. Because that was the ending I was talking about. It was a surprise to me. That,
I haven't seen much discourse in general. I've been avoiding my manga Twitter while I'm not reading manga. Mm-hmm. Great decision.
Yes.
But since that was the first chapter that we started not reading for a while, I did see people up in arms about that on whether it was good or bad.
Of her having
suddenly having skills. I mean, obviously the next 3 chapters goes over why.
Yes.
I thought it's cool as shit, though.
Yes, I did too, because it's Samura's daughter. Obviously, she's going to be Because we
At least
didn't know
exposed.
from this chapter onward. We didn't know the extent of how close her relationship actually was with Samora.
Yeah, like,
and apparently it wasn't that close until the mother got sick. Like,
and I thought it was even going to be less close than that. I thought it would be like he got the daughter, he wiped her memories right away because he thinks he's an awful person.
Which I don't think that they are. We'll get
to that.
But, you know...
I love Hirohiko now, kind of. He's
like,
when you make it that obvious, I have to go.
Again,
I do, but I like him for what he brings to Chihiro. He is quite literally a good opposite to him.
I guess, but I don't see him being useful past this, whatever this fight is. So
I see him being useful after this fight. He still has to use Kumayuri. They're not just going to give that to another guy.
But he just lost. Well, again, he already. Actually,
we're
no.
about to say he lost arms.
No, because it's still attached. But I'm hoping that this panel at the end of what chapter is this? Then I'm on 70. At the end of chapter 70, Chihiro and him go to clash, and Chihiro wins the clash, and he's all cut up behind it. I hope he's dead.
He's not gonna be.
I know he's not, but I hope he is because I'm just so tired of him. I don't like him.
He's really grown on me from those first chapters. It's all the explanations too, because it does fit. He's using all the paper sorceries, hitting from different angles, so he's obviously an out of the box thinker. And the thing I especially liked about the fight, though, that I actually was really excited to talk about, is again how polar opposite they are, and how they're both learning from each other too.
True.
And I thought that dynamic through the whole fight was just really good. Like when he starts whipping out White Purity style on him.
I still think, though...
It was this page that did it, where he's reflecting on what he needs to beat Hirohiko, and Hirohiko gets his own speech bubble saying what he needs to overcome Chihiro. This dynamic, I was eating this shit up.
True, but I think I view it too as Chihiro just as a swordsman trying to get over this, because I'm like, bro, if you had access to N10, and even if he used his, Chihiro's just gonna mollywop him because he's been using N10 for 2 years now.
Yeah,
he's very accustomed to using.
Though,
and he fought Sojo, so he has experience with fighting people with an enchanted blade.
I would say at the very least his bond is going to be greater, because even if Hirohiko, let's be real, with what we've learned now too, how it kind of warps to the person that's using the blade, he's probably going to have some sort of hack's weird power. But we've also learned that they bond with their sword over time, so no matter what, Chihiro's still going to have that advantage. Because I don't know, I see the two ghost ladies in Kumayuri, I'm like, there's are going to be some hacks there, I just know. Some soul swap and shit or something like that.
Yeah, maybe. That'd be dumb.
Well, you hate him and think he's dumb, so it would line up when... No, I just like their dynamic. It's not like Hirohiko's some deep character. We don't even know his backstory besides he killed a bunch of people when he was a kid. Which, we'll come back to that in the last chapter. Which, is that this chapter? Or is that
no,
the chapter
we got
after?
the Samora and Iori flashback with her mom and how her mom dies.
It's super sad.
And
Not much to say, really, because it's very straightforward chapter, but it was also very sad. Yes, it is the same chapter. Oh, well, yeah, I guess it does go across 2 chapters. Then. Yes. Yeah, it ends with it. My point is, Hishaku comes in, drops all of the details on us. And, I mean, we could go through all the details, but larger thing that just comes to mind is okay, yeah, this is a righteous mission of some kind. Save the country, little bit of revenge in there for you being bad people. Why did you hire the child murderer to help on your righteous mission? Hirohiko? Really? What's he doing on this righteous crusade?
The whole thing doesn't make sense to me anymore.
No, the whole thing?
The whole thing. And I'll explain why in a minute. So, the whole Yuri thing, we get our flashback. Mom is dying of, sickness or something. Being a mother in a shonen manga.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Felt like I was reading One Piece. Most dangerous occupation in One Piece?
Mom.
Being a mom. Everybody's mother in One Piece is dead.
It's brutal.
The only one who's not is the biggest of mothers. Big Mom.
And look at how she's portrayed.
She has 87 children.
And ugly.
Because she has 87 children.
Was she beautiful before them?
She still had the witch nose, but she had
Better.
the classic One Piece woman body. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do know what you mean.
Which is weird, though, because...
So somewhere between a pencil and a pin.
Hold on. Mom as a child. So, this is Big Mom as a child.
Ooh.
Yeah, right?
Ooh.
This is Big Mom as, we know her. Big Mom.
Ew.
Makes sense that
It's always
child...
worse than I remember it. Every time.
always makes sense that child grew up to be this, right?
Oh, boy.
But then in the middle...
I'm about to see her peak.
Come on, give me a picture of just Big Mom, not with all these people.
Wow. Yeah, no, wait. Whoa.
Yeah.
Wow.
Right?
That's insane. That's not the same person.
It's not.
It's not.
But it is. Makes no sense. Oda was trolling.
Oda trolls often.
Very. But anyway, back to KaguraBachi.
Yeah, welcome back.
What doesn't make sense to me anymore, because Mom dies, whatever. I liked the in the newest chapter says it, or was it the new chapter or the next one of these chapters?
It might be because the end of this chapter is also like him talking to his daughter again. Really
At the end,
yeah.
Because I did notice in the previous chapter, at the start of the flashback, how she was mimicking Samora. Anytime she had a sword, she was closing her eyes, or when she was cutting the fruit,
grip.
she was cutting the fruit with her eyes closed too. Mm-hmm. So it's like I noticed that before,
I noticed it when she was chopping the food because she was holding the blade backwards and pulling it towards it. But that's the grip for white purity. You pull it out, then flip the blade.
Yeah. But yeah, so onto that good.
The good.
Which the part I saw coming was these citizens that were bloodthirsty savages by nature. I knew 100% that these just
those are regular ass people.
Those are regular ass people.
That's revisionist history if I ever heard it.
Yep. So,
I think the part we all saw coming is this guy being super evil,
or not being super evil, actually being corrupted by the sword.
True, because they did say it's his dad's best friend, like most trusted person.
Yeah, and they even said it multiple times. Nobody expected the Swordmaster to betray it. The Swordmaster got corrupted. One of the heroes who had trod over countless corpses during the war went berserk.
That's such a good page, though. Oh my
it is.
Fucking God.
So we finally got to see the dude's face, and I was like, oh shit, Sinuichi.
So yeah, the citizen's
Shinuichi.
Not evil.
Right, but so here's my thing, right? This whole thing about Samora, I gotta kill all of the Swordmasters because we committed a grave sin. No, you didn't. That motherfucker did. What did Uruha?
Yes, Uruha.
What did Uruha do? Nothing. He helped your asses restrain that motherfucker,
You know what's
and
funny?
you killed him. For what? Nothing.
That's a good point. And
So what sin did they commit? Even the dude at the end
didn't.
says that you guys committed no sins. The Swordmaster did.
I don't know why Samura would do it, because I think, now that you say that, I think his motivation, at least his thought pattern is, well, when I kill the super bad one, we're all going to die anyways, so I might as well be the one that kills them.
So I thought about this for a second, too, afterwards. I'm like, okay.
That part of the description sucked ass, by the way.
It did. It took me a while to get what was going on. And I'm like, okay, so if you kill the sword master of the Shinuchi, everyone else that has a sword contract dies. Because he was Rokihiro's friend, somehow that's what he did. I don't understand why he did that way.
The other part I don't understand is, did the Shinuichi come later? Because they made it sound like it entered the war later than the other ones.
Right? But then
so
in
how
this
is
chapter,
it, though, like, the crux of everything if it...
Yeah, but then in this chapter, it says that all of the sword masters were aware of that before they
entered, yeah.
Entered, so
maybe the blades were all made first and he only unleashed them one at a time as they needed it in the war?
Maybe. But then also it made it like probably like 6 or 7 chapters ago, it made it seem like the war started, and as soon as Rokihiro made the swords, the war ended that day.
The heroes are great.
Yeah, it ended like the same day. It felt like it said it like within hours the war was over. I was like, what? That's it?
Also, I mean, people have already made the comparison long before this chapter, but I think it's pretty easy to nail down that, yeah, they are definitely an analog for nuclear bombs. The swords themselves.
Yeah.
I mean, look at the amount of devastation and lives taken.
It was what, 200 million? They gave a number.
I think they did. It was literally a genocide.
Yeah, nope, 200,000. A lot less. The calamity that beset that small town laid waste to roughly 200,000 lives.
This reminds me a lot of after nature starts reclaiming it, of nuclear destruction.
Yeah.
Again, I'm not even the first person to say it either.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah.
It just really struck home this time. Like, the way he was even describing it, like a bunch of innocents being pulled into it.
Right. Okay, so here's my thing, right? That just means the Hishaku doesn't really give a fuck, because Hishaku leader wants the Shinuchi, which means he would then be the new catalyst for all the rest of the swords bearers, because the swords aren't going to die. Well, the sword masters are going to die if he dies.
If we then everyone just at his word, maybe he doesn't actually plan to use it.
I don't believe him for 1 second. Look at that dude. That is Koro Lucifer from Hunter x Hunter. Who fucking this is what he was doing. Wait. This is what he was doing when he was trying to get his Nen back while Hisoka's chasing him.
I feel like you're hedging against me already. Krollo's not the worst dude. He's not.
He is, though.
A lot of people die because of him.
Exactly.
But he's not the worst dude.
He actually fits perfectly in basically what I just said. Because Krollo is greedy, right?
I'm going to send you like 3 chapters of Hunter x Hunter to read sometime. Right, I need you to do it for me. So I need you to pull through and spend the 2 hours it's going to take to read 3 Hunter x Hunter chapters.
Right. So, Krollo is a greedy fuck. Anything he sees he wants, he takes it. Right? Doesn't give a fuck about who's going to be in the way. He's just going to do it. Because he grew up poor with all his little spider friends in that one place. And then they now are a bunch of thieves that just take stuff and they kill a bunch of people and take their stuff. And they kill some more people and take their stuff.
Yeah. I probably shouldn't discount the taking of a bunch of people's eyeballs. I probably shouldn't just sweep that one under the rug.
Massacred an entire clan of people for their eyes to sell them. Then kills people who have good Nen abilities to store them in a book.
He's a pretty good dude.
But he's really protective of his friends that also murder people like Uvakin.
Well, he lost a friend as a kid. They were going to put on a play together.
I don't give a fuck.
The
Shaku leader guy probably lost a friend too that had a stick that he pretended was a sword. So now he wants to rule all swords.
Let me put it this way: there's two wolves inside me, and both of them say he's a liar. So one route, he's lying here, which is again it's pretty easy assumption to make. That's one route, and that he just wants the Shinichi for power. Or route B, he's lying to all of his buddies about wanting power and does actually mean what he says in this one-on-one, like his one-on-one. Like, he could have brought the gang.
I don't know. I just think this...
Occam's razor says he's lying to Samura. But I don't know. It's really weird. He could have done everything he needed to on his own. They didn't need Samura.
Here's the problem, though, right? If this guy was concerned about the problem that the enchanted blades solved are and wanted to solve the issue, why did he murder Rokuhiro and take the swords when the issue had already been solved?
Well, if we do go off the idea that it's a premonition, because he kind of hints that.
I think it's a premonition because he wants to fucking steal the sword and use it himself.
Well, I'm just saying, if it's a premonition.
Yeah, a premonition out of confidence in his ability to get that item, which he does not have.
No.
Chihiro was successful in taking that back.
Another interesting... That's what I mean with a premonition. The sword is close to the guy now.
Yeah.
Presumably.
And when...
What he's thinking could happen that everyone said wouldn't...
When Haku's dad tried to use it in the first place, it was the sword master that activated the sword from God knows how far away. He was just
and immediately started doing that calamity shit. Now we know that the plant stuff was that calamity stuff. Literally turns their world into wild strawberry.
Yeah, literally.
So I don't know. I could see it. I could see the path where this is the truth, because it is really weird to go, hey, person I absolutely hate out of nowhere and have no reason to trust or really know at all. A calamity is coming. Will you side with us murderers to stop it?
After this chapter, the chances of what's his name? Yura?
Yes.
Yura's...
John Hishaku.
The possibility of Yura being a member of that other group of people just skyrocketed.
He knows about Dan and Seki more than most people do, because he was the one that was trying to get Sojo to do that stuff.
And like they said, only the highest echelon people would know. So how else would he know if he wasn't part of the Kaminami or the highest echelon of the government? Because he was fucking there.
And both of those, and I do think he is just a member of whatever country of people this was.
He could have been part of the royal family, too.
But
he could have been the fucking child that's crying in this episode. That could be him.
I almost want to say that's probably him at this point.
You know what I mean?
Like, that's a pretty good shoe-in for him. As far as a child of that age.
Because the child never talks. They're showing this child for a reason. And... he's not, because look, on this specific page...
I swear to God that is probably him.
In order to prevent further casualties, they signed a treaty for a time and peace was established. So it made it look like this child was maybe part of the royal line, but then he's not part of the sign-in. He's not in this panel.
That's the other thing.
He's just a random person being held.
Not only does Yura have a bunch of information, he has an incredibly detailed, accurate timeline of exactly how it went on both sides.
Yeah, so I think he was there.
I think he was there too, and if whether he was a part of the country or part of the government, both of them would make sense for him wanting some sort of vengeance or justice. Because again, I do think there's genuineness to this, because like, again, why would you go to the enemy with this kind of proposal?
I still think they're dumb as fuck for putting any of the swords up for fucking auction.
Yes.
Especially the Shinichi. But again, it might be just part of his plan to get the Kabunami back to having it, to put it near the Swordmaster.
Which is so weird, because it is antithetical to trying to stop the end of everything.
Yeah.
Because now they're both together.
Or at least closer together than they were.
Relatively speaking. And that's why I wanted to really get into that kink in there again, because I brought it up twice now. It's like, why is Yura so confident that Samura would have taken this? How do you know Samura's personality that well? You came out of the blue alone, seemingly unprepared to fight. I mean, he's a sorcerer. He can whip out fighting whenever.
And he somehow teleported away in a whiff of smoke.
It's also interesting. Everyone's supposed to have one kind of sorcery, too.
And he seems to have a bunch.
Well, we know the tree stuff that happened in the hallway was the other guy now. So it's like almost like every offensive thing happening around him could be other people. Maybe his only magic is premonitions. And he's just also a good fighter. Because everything he did to Chihiro, not including the trees, because again, that's someone else, was just him kicking ass.
I felt like it was more a lot of him just standing around and the tree stuff just defended him.
Oh, yeah. I need to reread it in general. Now that we have way more context on him.
Because Chihiro he didn't use N10. He was just using Cloud Gouger.
Yes. I think, did he try the, mixing the two? In that fight, I think he did.
I think just to blow through the thing to
get
past
the very last, To
get to Hikaru on the other side.
His boyfriend. Yes, you're right.
Yes.
I'm going to be so sad if Iori joins the party. It becomes the actual love interest. It only just hit me.
See, because here's the thing, right? We've talked about this before. How long does KaguraBachi go for? Because if you take out the Hishaku, you got to pull something else out of your ass that hasn't been talked about the entire series, right? But when you really look at it, Chihiro's party is fucking broken.
Yeah.
Hikaru can teleport any item that he has access to the person's chakra.
It's so broken that Hikaru has to stay broken, as in physically broken, and Shiba has to be gojoed off screen somewhere because it'll solve every problem.
The girl that fucking heals all wounds on an instant regeneration.
She should be back with her mom. Honestly, if I was the author, she'd be back with her mom somewhere.
Your mom's dead.
She'd be an orphanage.
And now you're gonna get this girl that fucking knows serious fucking swordsmanship skills.
Goaded Shiba and Azami.
Yeah. So it's like
it is too much.
It's a lot.
But I do hope she doesn't join the party. Not even just because love interest, because don't get between Chihiro and Hikaru.
She has her love interest already. He came to here today. To the rooftop.
Yes. Sadly, my brain went, her dad? Ew.
No!
You sicko.
The boy.
Yes. So goated run, by the way. This is banger 4 chapters in a row.
It was, yes.
And I still like Hirohiko. At the very least, the fight's fucking awesome, you gotta say.
Yeah, it's gonna be well animated.
The way that, he had his hand up in that one panel, and it looked like he was pulling through. And then it just completely changed. Oh, it looks so good. And his hair's pink. Confirmed.
I thought he was blonde, but I mean, then again, anyone with white hair in anime, I almost always assume blonde or white hair.
I also usually assume that. I don't remember where I saw the...
Do you know that... No, never mind. But yeah, so the fight will be look cool, animated, hopefully.
It looked good on page.
Yeah. Speaking of animated things, Kinkaguna? No, not that one.
Not that one.
Gachiakuda.
Sorry, Ginka and Gluna mentioned sadness engaged.
Yeah.
Gachiakuda
looks fucking
banging, dude.
That looks awesome.
It's almost like Bones completely changed their staff between My Hero and Gachiakuda.
Yeah, no, it looks fucking good.
I'm excited because you're also gonna like the plot and characters. I can tell you right out the gate.
I already know. I mean, based on stuff you saw, but I was just like,
that trailer embodies Rudo perfectly. He is spiteful. He's had the shittest backstory, and he does take that out on people. He's not... There's obviously the protag energy once he starts having friends and stuff, but he's not just the protag. He is an angry kid.
The only thing I don't like is you showed me a character that I would really like, and I did really like it, and then you page flipped, and it's like, oh, now she's dead.
She might not be. I don't know for sure. But yeah,
it seemed pretty conclusive.
It seemed, but I'm not 100% sure.
It is manga after all, so...
Yeah, it was the girl with the stanky boots.
Yes.
It was. I'm behind on that one, too, and I really want to catch up. The art on that is so fucking good.
You have a lot of shit to catch up on.
I do. What was I about to Google also? Oh, yeah, Hirohiko's hair.
Because you're behind on Hunter x Hunter, Trojan X,
Hunter, yeah.
Blue Lock.
Apparently there's a JoJo's character named Hirohiko.
There's another one too.
Blue Lock. severely too.
And you were reading Seraph at the end, but, not very heavily.
Not heavily, but I was liking it, to be fair. Everyone's coloring it white, so it might end up still being white. I guess what I saw was an official color page. Indeed.
Find out. He'll probably be on a volume cover.
Yes. I got really deep into Seraph at the end now that you mention it. Like, I passed the anime.
I only watched the anime, so that ends the extent of my knowledge on that.
I feel like I need to reread like 3 chapters worth before I start reading it again, though.
I still need to fucking read more Witch Watch before the fucking anime comes out, which is soon. I think it's next month. I think it's the spring season when Witch Watch airs.
Oh, yeah. I need to reread 1 chapter, because it was fucking Gurren talking to, like, pretty much being put on trial. Or having, like, a meeting with higher-ups, and you know Gurren, the leader guy.
Yeah, the traitor
guy. So any
guy.
conversation, yes. So any conversation he has, it's like, oh, I should probably reread that then. There's probably some banger, like, lore drops there.
I didn't know he got captured, but okay.
Oh, no, it wasn't really captured. It's like his own military interrogating him. Being like, hey, you're sketchy. Why'd you do sketchy things? He's like, sketchy things work. Ah, yes, sketchy things do work. Go on your way.
Continue being sketchy. Okay.
Yes, brainwashed children who do my every whim. Yes, Dad? Like, Gurren stuff. God, I love him.
And gay vampires. So.
And gay vampires. I swear to God, if I read this whole manga and they don't canonize Yukasa, I'm going to be very unhappy with myself. I'll only have myself to blame. How many shonen manga can gay bait me before it's my fault?
All of them.
Literally all of them. It's insane. There is no other ship in Hunter x Hunter. Let's be real.
Yeah,
for either of them.
Yeah, but Gon's a shit friend to Kahlua, so.
He is. Gon doesn't deserve Kahlua.
Yeah.
But they both also have no other options. Like, there's no one else to ship them with. Except Kurapika, who I always forget's a man.
I wish I could forget exists.
Nah, it's so grown on me. They won't grow on you, though.
I don't like Kurapika at all.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to read the Boat Arc, then.
Yeah, Kurapika.
I was going to say Godlyka, but that's a little strong for my flavor.
That's
Goodlyka.
Goodlyka.
Gurren, though. What a great little trio. I got Gurren up there. I got the Boy Mance down here that hopefully canonizes. I did my research before reading Seraph at the end. From what I researched, Mikasa did actually have like a confession to you. So that's when I was like, damn it, I'm in. Get me on this train.
God damn it, Ricky Bobby, sign me up.
That's all I need. It doesn't even have to be fully canonized. The fact that it at least comes up, thank you. You boys did not make each other your entire lives to not at least have this conversation. At least turn each other down or something. Don't just pretend. Like,
no, you know exactly what's gonna happen. Fucking, he's gonna confess, but then the other one's gonna blush away, and then they're gonna be will they, won't they for 17 more chapters. Then,
and they're monthly. Those are long chapters.
Yeah, and then they're gonna like both reach for something at the same time, touch hands, and then it's gonna be more blushing, and that's they're gonna fucking hype up that moment for the next 15 chapters. And then they're gonna glance at each other through.
And then the girl with the scythe is gonna steal the main character away.
Yep.
So sad. It's gonna happen to me again. But it sounds like the closest to a shonen manga we'll get to taking that final step. Like, I know friendships get close, but again, there's a few examples here. Again, what Gon and Kahlua have, I don't know, man. What Boruto and Mitsuki have, I don't know, man. Because Mitsuki in Boruto is constantly like, you are my sun, my guiding light. I should base all of my morality on you. He literally says, my son. Kind of like the same way everyone says conquering the sun in Demon Slayer. It's like, you are my son. And then Seraph at the end. It's undeniable. The amount of times...
wholeheartedly disprove any Boruto talk on this podcast.
So sorry. I brought sin into our holy temple.
I get mad. I get mad when fucking the Shonen app tells me that there's a new Boruto chapter.
The banner.
No, they just send me notifications every time there's a new chapter. And I'm like, bro, I've never even clicked on it on the Shonen app. I wish there was a dislike so I could dislike fucking Boruto so I don't get any notifications about it. Don't care.
Nope. Again, I haven't seen anyone talk about it in ages, too.
You know what makes me sad?
Shonen Jump not canonizing their gay romances. Continue. Sorry.
No. Shonen Jump not canonizing their... Yes, they're gay Yuri.
All of them.
All of them.
All of them should be here.
Anyway, because I sent you a screenshot of it, but Giguk was on a One Piece YouTubers podcast today. Nice. So it was like 2.5 hours of just glazing One Piece.
I'm sure you would listen to every minute enraptured.
No, I need to listen to another hour of it, but I'll do that tomorrow.
Enraptured.
Yes. But they brought up a good thing, a good point to what I'm about to say in it, and made me be like, damn, that's so true. Because they were talking about, Giguk was asking him when he thinks One Piece will end, which is the consensus between like One Piece YouTubers, at least English-speaking ones, is somewhere between 5 to 7 more years. So somewhere around, yeah, I know, right?
Jesus.
2030, 2032 range, give or take. But then Giga and them said, yeah, but Shueisha's not going to let One Piece end there. Like, there's going to be something after it. There's going to be side stories. There's going to be a two-piece.
I don't think they'll make Oda do it.
I don't think they'll make Oda do it, but I think they're going to get somebody to do it.
Like, that's why there's like so much anime for One Piece right now and television for One Piece right now. Like, they know they need to start milking it.
Yeah, but Oda's heavily involved in all of that. Like, yes. Oda, that's why we have so many breaks.
I would bet you that Oda would still be involved with those shows even after he would be done with One Piece. Like, he does some of that out of love. That's not all contractual.
Yes.
He didn't have to be on set for the live action all the time. He did because he's passionate about what he makes.
He approves all of the hires and casting.
See, that's what I mean. That's not part of the contract. Or at least, if it is, it's because Oda put that in a contract.
So
I don't think Shueisha is forcing him to do all the hires for it. So I think Oda would even put more time into that when he's done drawing the manga.
Yeah, and plus, it's just...
But I don't think they're going to make him do anything. But I do think they are going to try to make as much money off of owning One Piece as possible.
Oh, 100%. And, I mean, I'm okay with side... You know what I and any fan would absolutely love is... But Oda would have to tell the stories. Because the stories are already kind of partially in the mainline series. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of events that we know about, and we know who participated in them and when roughly they happened, but we don't know exactly what happened there. Like, one is the Rocky Port incident. We know Kobe, Law, Blackbeard were there, and we know that's what made Blackbeard... Oh, that's not what made Blackbeard Yonko, but that's what made, like... Law walked out of that event as a Shichibukai. Kobe walked out of that as, like, the new hero of the Marines, and... Blackbeard walked out of that now owning his own island. So
I'm sure they would have Oda like write the story and then maybe, again, this is all hypothetical, maybe have someone else draw it. Because, again, Oda's probably dying to get off that fucking chair.
And then, oh yeah, I'm sure with his gout and his eye issues.
And they have to know that. There's no way they're going to force this man to do more.
And... the one everyone wants to see, but we already know most of the story, but us as One Piece fans want to see it happen, is the God Valley incident Because, I mean, that's just like... all of the past big shots were on that island. And they all fought. And that island doesn't exist anymore.
I was going to say, there's plenty of, like, pre-start of the story lore and, like, stuff like that you could put. Like, everyone complains about not having Zoro backstory. That could be its own side story.
Well, we have some Zoro backstory. We just don't have Zoro's
I mean.
lineage backstory. But we kind of got it in SBS. Like, the fucking God Valley incident, it's like, we know all of the steps because we got it through two different tellings. Like, when it first happened, it was in one chapter, and we're like, what? Who's this Rox D. Zabet guy? I want to be king of the world? That guy looks awesome. He's just a silhouette, though. But he fucking looks awesome. What do you mean his crew was Big Mom Kaido and Whitebeard, fucking Shiki, Wang Ji, and Silver Axe? All these big names of notable other pirates were on the same crew under this dude? Like, how badass is this dude?
Who were they even fighting at that point? Yeah.
And then they go and they attack a fucking island where on the island, the fucking world nobles decide that they're just going to pick and choose an island, probably an island that they already had issues with. They're like, okay, we can get rid of this. Blockade the island with all their battleships. Then a bunch of world nobles will come down and they'll play a game. And the game is all of the rabbits are assigned points, and the more rabbits you kill, the higher points you get. Just that the rabbits are the civilians, and they murder the entire island, and it's a game.
God.
Yes. So, and there's a bunch of prizes that they give out. So God Valley was the thing. Is probably did it because it's named God Valley, and celestial dragons are the gods. You can't be having a place called God Valley.
It's their valley.
So they all went there. There's a new dude, Fiddler and Garland was introduced there. So he's one of the people there. And all these other world nobles, there was a Gorosei member there. And they're all going to do this. It's in Kuma's backstory that we get most of it. So he's with another girl. And she's really good with snail technology. So she got a message out to the open world, basically telling the whole world that, hey, the world government's having this game here on this island, and they're competing for all these different treasures. And one of the treasures is this devil fruit that was stolen from the Rox Pirates by the Navy. So the Rox Pirates, the girl did this specifically to get a bunch of people on the island, cause a commotion so that her and her friends could escape the island.
Also make it as hard as possible for them to do what they were planning to do.
Yes. So the Rox Pirates, with Kaido, Big Mom, Whitebeard, and all of his other people, they come in to attack. But then Roger hears about it. And Roger's like, yo, the Rox Pirates are there? Fuck them. I'm going to go there and mess with their plans. So Roger comes in, and he's going to fight them with all his people. But then Garp hears that Roger's there, so Garp shows up. And then there's this whole fucking fight of all of this stuff. So it ends up being Garp and Roger team up together to fight the Rox Pirates, and Garp and Roger win.
Damn.
Yeah. And yeah, that's what made Garp the hero of the Marines. So everyone's like, we want to just see those fights, man.
That's
but
crazy
we know
too that sadly Garp stood up to bat for the people genociding then.
Yes. And that's when we heard about the event. We were like, yeah, you could probably ask Garp about it, but he probably won't like you asking him about it because he's very open about not supporting the Celestial Dragons. That's why he turned down the role of Admiral.
He's still, like, morally just.
Yes. So for us to hear that he defended the Celestial Dragons in that stage, it's like, oh, then some
even sounds like
shit.
in the situation, he didn't really know the full situation going in. He's just like, oh shit, my nemesis.
Yeah, Roger is there, but then it's like, oh shit, Rox is here. We're gonna need to team up with each other and fight this dude. Yeah, so we know the whole thing. That's where Kaido got his devil fruit, because that devil fruit that was stolen from Rox is the one that Kaido ends up eating. So, yeah, it was a big event that we know basically everything that happened. but we didn't see any of it happen. We were told what happened through other people in the present. You know what I mean?
Lord knows it's going to be full of feats if you ever see it happen.
Yes. By all the most powerful people in the verse, too. So that's why we want to see it. Because, like, in One Piece, when powerful people clash, it's always just, like, a clash. You know what I mean? So they take, like, their big, strong attack against theirs, and they collide, and then it'll be like, oh, then they fought for 3 days straight. That's what we got in Odin's flashback when Whitebeard and Roger fight. They fucking clash with the hockey thing, and it was epic. The whole whole island is exploding and all this shit, and they're talking about advanced conquerors, so when you go to attack, you're not actually hitting like the force of the attacks, or the blades aren't actually touching and shit. Huge explosions and people getting sent flying, and they're like, then the Roger and the Whitebeard pirates fought for 3 days and 3 nights straight.
Welcome to present time.
And then it jumps to a party of them, like,
smashing their beers. Yeah. Good job, guys.
Thankfully, the anime gave us more, and there were actually fights.
Good.
And, like, we got to see Rayleigh absolutely disrespect Marco. Dude comes in his, like, eagle form, or phoenix form, goes to kick him. Fucking... he blocks it with his finger.
Damn.
And it's funny too, because the voice actor for Marco is the same voice actor as Ichigo, who also got his big attack blocked by a finger.
Brutal. That's the weirdest kind of tight casting I've ever seen.
Right? So there's stuff in One Piece that I would love to see if they did it that, but
again, One Piece is so broad too, you can just keep pumping it out and it wouldn't get weird.
But they always choose like dumb shit to fucking do. Like, for instance, you got all of the Lord of the Rings mythos, right? And of all of it, they decided to make a video game about fucking Golem. Like, who the fuck thought that was a good idea?
So with a very small budget.
Who wants that? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or like they're doing, I guess, a series or a movie about when Aragorn went to go find Golem, which is in the time period. It's like, so in the book, it's like they're gonna turn like 3 pages in the book into like a movie, basically.
Brutal.
Because a lot of people don't know, if you watch the first movie of Lord of the Rings: The Fellowship, Frodo gets the ring, and then Gandalf's like, yo, I gotta go do some research. I'll be right back. Mm-hmm. Goes on a minute montage of what he does, reads some papers in Minas Tirith, figures out that the ring Frodo has might be the One Ring, and then he runs right back to Frodo, and he comes back. They talk. Nothing happened. You would think a week at most passed. In the book, that's 17 years that Gandalf was gone. Yeah. So, in that time frame is when he was like hunting down Golem. He was trying to find info. He was like going through this,
following like every connection he possibly had.
And so he finds Golem, and he tracks him down, and then they bring him to Mirkwood, and he stays in the prisons. But the guards, don't watch him very well, so he escapes. But then he's captured by Sauron and tortured, and then let loose. And then Gandalf finds Aragorn. He's like, yo, you're the best tracker I know. Let's go find this dude. And then they track him down, and they find him. So they're going to make a show about that. And I'm like,
why?
Yeah, like...
And there's so much well laid out history in Lord of the Rings.
There's so many more interesting
things. You could throw a
things.
dart and it would hit a more interesting plot line.
Yes. Make a movie or TV show about the children of Húrin. Please. Please. Make a movie or a TV show about Beren and Luthien. Everybody wants to see that. Luthien is a badass. You know, all the people that believe, because people try and say that Tolkien is like sexist or something because like none of his women like seem to quote unquote do anything. I'm like, all right, motherfuckers, let's take a step back, explain some backstory for you. Strongest being in all of the mythos, Eru Iluvita, God.
Yes.
Could be argued genderless. He's referred to as the One.
Most gods are...
Capital T, capital O.
Yeah.
The One. Sometimes he probably has he, him pronouns. He's God, genderless.
Yes.
Pocket that. Next tier down, you got the Valor. Archangels. Think Michael, Gabriel, Uriu, those type things. There's 7 of them. Or 8. Counting Melkor. Right? So that's the Archangels. Melkor, Morgoth, First Dark Lord.
Yep.
Then you have the Ainur, which are lesser angels. Okay?
Sorry, I just remembered that conversation we had about Final Fantasy 13. Continue.
You can get the Ainur. They're basically just the rest of your angels. Mm-hmm. Gandalf's an Ainur. All of the wizards, so Radagast, Saruman, the 2 blue wizards. Sauron, all of the Balrogs, they all are Ainur. They all fit in that category of angels, deities, spirits, whatever the fuck you want to call them. Ainur. Then you got elves, men, dwarves, and all of those people, right? So you would think if you're of the mortal, I know elves are immortal, but I'm just going to call them mortal. If you're of the mortal coil of the mortal world, you versus anything up there, you're going to lose. Mm-hmm. Most of the time, you do. Unless you're Luthien, who is a woman, elf, who just straight up wins against everybody she goes against. She, granted, when she fought Sauron, she had a hound with her who did all of the fighting, really, but she was magic support back there. Yeah. Sauron ran away.
And I almost guarantee she also trained said hound to do said fighting.
Well, no. He's a special case.
Okay, we'll leave him at that.
Yeah. But then...
Unless they're banging, then please tell me more.
She goes here with the hound to get Baron, her lover.
Ah, damn.
Out of the dungeons of Sauron that he's there torturing. And how he's torturing them, there's Baron and like 5 other elves, right? But they're using magic to disguise who they are. And Sauron's trying to figure it out. So he's like, okay. Does some torture, it doesn't really work. So he's like, okay, this is what I'm going to do. Elf number 1, you're going to come and you're going to fight my werewolves barehanded. That's it. You're going to do that. Oh, he's dead.
Yeah.
Do you guys want to tell me who you are? Nope. All right, elf number 2,
you're
in
up.
the pit. Mm-hmm. And he does that through all of them. Until he gets to the last elf, who is a notable elf. And he goes in there and he kills all the werewolves. Then he dies.
Still, way to go.
So then, plot armor, because Baron can't die here.
Yeah.
That's when Luthien shows up. And Sauron goes out there. Well, first, the Lord of Werewolves, who's a fucking badass.
I bet.
He runs away first. Then Sauron comes out, and she sends him packing. Then she grabs Baron. Then they go to steal a Cimmeral from the fucking crown of Morgoth. Again, Morgoth is the strongest being in creation. Because Eru created.
Yes, no, I'm following.
Melkor is the top of the cream of the crop.
I was about to say, on the physical plane, but I'm like, no, I was like running it back again. I'm like, no, just besides God.
He is Lucifer. Lucifer was stated to be the best of the archangels and strongest and was cast out. That's Melkor, who became Morgoth. He is the de facto number 1. Physically. And she just comes in there and she's like, yo, I'm just going to sing you a song and put your ass to sleep. Me, an elf, is going to put you, a god, to sleep.
An evil god.
An evil god with my magic. Not only him, his entire fortress. Everybody.
That's insane.
The entire fucking
thing. It's insane that she even got herself in there enough.
Oh, yeah, they basically just walked in there. And then with a knife, Baron carves the fucking Cimmeral out. And then, of course, because you got to have themes, the whole plot of Baron and Luthien is Thingol. Luthien was supposed to be the most beautiful of elves. And some stinky human comes into my kingdom and wants to marry my daughter. No, I'll give him an impossible task. You want the hand of my daughter in marriage? Go get me a Cimmeral. It's an impossible mission. 1 of 3.
Yeah.
Baron carves the first one out. Is like, you know what? I got this unbreakable knife. I'm going to use this unbreakable knife to be greedy and steal a second Cimmeral from the mask. Goes to do it. Symbolism, it breaks. And the snap of it starts waking people up.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
And that Lord of Werewolves, dude, so he grabs the Cimmeral.
Bangs me.
You might not want him to. The Cimmeral, it's a jewel, very beautiful jewel that brings light to the world. If evil touches it, it burns them. So Baron's holding it. He's not evil, so it doesn't burn him. The Lord of Werewolves bites his hand, so it bites it clean off, so it goes into his stomach or whatever, and it basically ate a fucking lava rock.
Yeah, like it burned through him, I'm imagining.
Yeah, so
because a lava rock will cool down eventually.
Oh, this doesn't.
Yeah.
So it just stays in his stomach, so he goes mad and just on a rampage, and it takes, like, plot armor to kill him. And I think Baron ends up... it's not over yet for Luthien's feats. Baron dies. Baron is immortal. So when elves die, they are reincarnated in their bodies in Valinor. And they live in the Undying Lands for eternity in Valinor. When a man dies, we don't know what happens. He goes to Mandos, which is a place...
Sorry, they could have tried harder on that one. He must have been sleepy that day. I'm sorry.
He goes to Mandos, who's basically Anubis. And Anubis sends them wherever they go. And we don't know where that is. It is never specified, ever.
That's wild.
Yeah. So, Baron dies, her love. Luthien's like, nah, fam. So she goes to Mandos, the unmoving emotionally. And she sings him a song. So moving that the Lord of the Dead is like, yo, that shit was fire. Here's your boy. And resurrects him. The only person ever, only mortal ever in history. He plucks him from the afterlife, puts him back in, brings him back to life, and they go off and live happily ever after. He's like, yo.
That's fucking amazing, first of all.
Yeah.
Secondly, it reminded me of a game where the whole point of the game is instead of fighting, you sing through all your problems, and I feel like it's Luthien.
That's basically what she does. Yeah. When you meet her, the first time you meet her, she's singing. Baron creeps on her through the bushes, and instead of, like, peeping on a girl bathing, it's peeping on Luthien singing. And that's how he falls in love with her, and then it's like was it Romeo and Juliet, where it's like she's in like a thing.
Yeah, the high window.
He climbs the ladder, and they like...
Yeah.
They swoon over each other. Yeah. So yeah, that's Luthien.
Lit. Make that a movie.
Best feats.
Why wasn't that the anime?
I know, right? Though, I haven't watched it yet.
It looks good.
It looks good. I've heard some mixed things. But I'm like, if there was a story from Rohan to tell, it's of Helm Hammerhand. So, that's lit.
Again, it looks good. That's what matters most, really. Well, being entertaining overall, but...
Like, there's so many badass moments in Lord of the Rings that you could do series for, and they do stupid shit. Like, the fucking, like I said, the Children of Hurin. Hurin himself is, like, the strongest dude to ever live.
Or that cozy farming Shire game, and I like cozy farming games.
No, that's not that bad, actually. My wife's actually super excited for it.
I guess Golem would be just the only real bad example.
Yeah, or the Golem movie show that they're trying to make.
Yeah,
too.
that's...
It's like,
yeah.
Nobody gives a fuck about that. It's like the Star Wars thing, right? Disney Star Wars is trying to stay within the same, like, 10-year time span of A New Hope.
You are so right. You could not have picked a more based example.
Branch out.
It kills me every time. How many movies and shows are we going to cram into that same time period?
Because I get it. Star Wars is about the Skywalker family. But...
It's not.
It's a galaxy.
Star Wars is about politics.
Yeah. But then it sucks too, because all of their other shit that they've made that isn't about Jedis also sucks.
Like, the Acolyte was such like a ray of hope when it was first like being shown, because at least it took place in a different period, though we find out it's still pretty damn connected to the rest of it.
Yeah.
Sadly.
Yes.
I don't want to even hear about Plagius. I want you to go like another 100 back, please. Like...
Oh. Yeah. Tell stories about Fingolfin.
Just turn the motherfucking Old Republic stuff into movies. Just adapt it into television or something.
Yeah.
Just retell that story. It's banging.
It doesn't need to be in the Disney canon anymore. Just
tell some stories.
Yeah.
They already do off-canon stories. They have the fucking Star Wars anime stuff now.
Because honestly, they could do the Silmarillion as a TV show.
Yeah,
and simply just be like, episodes being about a specific moment. You know, jump around with it.
Or pick something that the Silmarillion covers. Like,
well, covers all of time. Which
I know, that's why I'm like, maybe you don't want to make the whole Silmarillion.
Because the Silmarillion starts like the Bible in Genesis, literally, in the beginning, there was Ero Iluvatar, and he rose his right hand, and music came forth. The world was created through music.
Yeah.
So
which is probably why she is so based and powerful.
Yeah, probably. But then it's like, all right, this episode, we're going to tell the story of how Fingolfin fucking...
Let's do like an anthology series.
Capital G GOAT was like, yo, I just lost a battle, and my best friend over here just died, and my 2 nephews over there just died. I think fucking my house is ruined. So I'm just going to jump on my boy horse here, and we're going to ride straight to the enemy camp. And I'm going to be so mad when I do it that the entire army of the enemy sees one dude running, and they're like, I ain't going to fuck with him. I'm going to run away.
I feel the righteous indignation.
Yeah. And then he rides all the way up to the gates of Morgoth, jumps off his horse, pounds on the door, is like, yo, come out here, fight me 1v1. You won't. You pussy. Called him Craven.
Damn.
Lord of Worms, and all these other insults. And Morgoth was afraid of him and wouldn't come out. But he had to save face in front of all his generals, so he does come out.
Oh, yeah, man, sorry, I just got this kink in my shoulder.
Yeah. So he comes out.
Don't have my gaming chair.
He fights this elf. And this is the last time Morgoth ever leaves his fortress because of the ass beating he gets. He wins the fight. He kills Fingolfin. But the fight is basically described.
But he's a god fighting a mortal. Like, he's supposed to smite this man.
He swings his hammer Grond 7 times. And 7 times he rent the ground and fire blew asunder and left craters where he swung his hammer. But Fingolfin dodged every one of them like lightning and struck back, wounding Morgoth 7 times.
Damn.
And then the king grew wary and fell and tripped in one of the pits left by the hammer. And Morgoth stepped on him, and it's described as the weight of a fallen hill is the exact wordage used to describe the foot on Fingolfin.
Falling hill.
Yes.
I don't know if that's like, should I take that literally, like you ripped that out of the earth and threw a hill, or is that like to describe like the force of a landslide? Which either way.
Yeah. So he steps on him, right, and he's crushing. Steps on his neck, by the way.
Oh,
crushing him with this. And in his last moment, Fingolfin hewed at his fucking ankle. So Morgoth, a fucking deity, limps for the rest of his existence because of this one dude and never gets rid of the pain of his wounds. Like, the pain is there forever.
Damn.
And I'm like, that's my favorite
That's the most badass thing, like, ever.
Yeah.
Like, can you just hire someone to make an animation of that at least? Like, just the fight even? Like, something.
Or Turin Turamba's entire life. The most tragic, darkest book, Children of Hurin. Like, all of Tolkien is mostly, like, high fantasy type stuff. Like, there's death.
Yeah.
There's nothing like the Children of Hurin, like what that dude goes through.
It's not the themes he's focusing on, at least, for, like, the broad strokes of the story.
Children of Hurin goes through some dark shit. And it's like, you're reading that book, and you're like, am I reading a Tolkien, like, Lord of the Rings?
Did George R. Martin walk in?
Oh, because Hurin is, like, this, like, badass dude, right? And he goes to war, and he's a badass. He leaves his 2 kids behind. And his not dying breath, because Hurin actually doesn't die. Much worse happens to Hurin.
Oh, God.
So, when his army is defeated, his, like, whatever, his, like, capture, you want to call it. So, he decided him and a bunch of other people would help the retreat, so they stayed behind to keep battling while the army retreated.
Yeah.
And they were overwhelmed, and he was the last one to go down. And every time he killed an orc, he screamed in Elvish, "The dawn will come again." And it is stated that that chant was heard 75 times. And his sword broke or rusted from the amount of blood on it. mid-battle. So he picked up an orc axe and was using that. And Morgoth wanted him alive. So it wasn't until all they fucking like jumped on him and like grappled him down, and he was fucking So Morgoth chains him to a chair on top of a wall, and like probably spiked chair, so he's probably like bleeding the whole time, and gives him this like I think the like far sight, so he can see very far, and he can witness like Morgoth's pettiness is like, fuck you. You're too awesome. So I'm going to bring ruin. I'm cursing your entire family. And you're going to sit here on this mountain peak with your far vision, and you're going to watch the absolute diabolicalness that I'm going to bring upon your family.
Oh my God.
And then you follow Turin, his son, for the rest of the thing. And Turin is just so badass, but so tragic. Because it's like everything that's thrown at him, he vanquishes, but he loses so much along the way. And it's just like, but then
they all take something from him.
Yes. And so early on, his sister and his mother and him are separated. But his sister, they're very young. So he does, next time he sees his sister, he doesn't recognize her. And she doesn't know him, and he's going by a different name. So they totally get married.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I saw that coming really far ahead.
And then he gets into like a beef with the fucking dragon. So then the dragon like mind breaks his sister, or something like that, and she thinks he's dead. Type Romeo Juliet thing that he thinks. Yeah. She thinks he's dead. He thinks she's dead.
Yep.
So she jumps off a cliff and kills herself. And then he finds out that she killed herself. So he kills himself.
Yep.
And then Morgoth knows what's about to happen. So he lets the father go. Like the day before, Turin kills himself. But he doesn't make it there in time. So Turin meets up with his wife again afterwards or whatever. And it's just like the whole family. There's a bunch of other stuff I'm leaving out too.
Just all despair.
All just despair. Super dark stuff. And I'm like, it's so good. I've read the book twice.
Damn.
And we'll most definitely read it again sometime in life. Really good. And it's one of those good books that you can read without... The only pre-knowledge you need to know is takes place in the Lord of the Rings world.
Yeah.
Morgoth is the first Dark Lord, and he's been at war with the elves for... a bunch of years.
And even some of that you could probably, like the latter two, you could probably infer enough about just reading it.
Yeah.
Like, when you see what Morgoth's capable of, it's like, yes, supreme, evil, powerful being.
Yeah, and he's been at war with the elves for a long time, and you just read it, and you're like, it's a very self-contained, because, again, it's the story of the children of Horin, so it's about Turin and his sister. I forget his sister's name. She has amnesia, too, so that's why she didn't remember stuff, or something.
Right where you're just like, the brother meets with the sister. I'm like, oh boy, I know where this is going.
Yeah.
Oedipus time.
And that...
Not your mom, but it's still vaguely reminiscent.
I mean, in Tolkien's mythos, there's like, because, J.R. Martin placed all of his stuff about...
history,
and there's like, especially English history, and... Or European...
He does at least, he does try to pull in, like, other ones.
Yeah, European medieval knights history stuff. And there was a lot of interfamily breeding in that time to keep the pure. There is some of that in Lord of the Rings, in the sense that... But it's over thousands of years because of elves' storylines and stuff.
The other way I would put it, too, is both of them take religion and history into account in their stories. It's just 80-20s again. Like, Tolkien would do, like, 80% religion, 20% medieval history, where Martin's, like, 20% religion, 80% medieval history.
Yeah, because there's no Jaime and Cersei's where they know each other are siblings and they do it. Like, Turin's the only example of just immediate straight incest, but neither of them knew who the other were.
And it's one of the most horrible things that's on page.
Yeah. But, like, technically Arwen and Aragorn are also related. But they're separated by Like, so
Yeah, they're not twins.
Elrond, Arwen's dad, he does have I think it's a twin, a brother, Elros. Elros, they're the first like true like half elves. Yeah. Elrond and his brother, and in the thing you can choose mortal or immortality. Elrond chooses immortality. Elros chooses the mortal life. Elros, first king of Numenor. Yep. You trace Elros, direct line straight to Aragorn, over 3,000 years, generations, from him down to Aragorn. Elrond's daughter, Arwen. So you know what I mean? Her uncle.
Okay, yeah.
But then straight down,
yeah, enough.
That's a very long, generational thing. You know what I mean?
To compare that to Cersei and Jaime.
Yeah.
That is Tywin, these two people at the same time.
Especially because, like, when you look at Elrond's family tree, Elrond's just Jesus. He's Ichigo, actually.
Well, that's what I was going to say with Martin, too, though, is the religion in Martin's is, like, very detailed in the sense of, like, it functions in culture the same way religion does, but he doesn't have a well laid out, like, this is actually God. This is actually how the start of everything happened.
But you can also say, in a defense of Martin, that his ambiguity on religion with the old gods, the new gods, the
Lord of
Light, the Lord of Light.
Yeah.
It's like, which
even
one's
the
real?
many-faced God.
Yeah, because then it's like you see evidence. It's like, well, the Lord of Light actually brings people back to life. So is he the real God? But then you got all of the old magic with the old gods and the faceless trees, and they
the
brought
many-faced God. Once again, because they trace back their organization traces way back to God. We've said so much Lord of the Rings names. I can't remember my Game of Thrones names. Oh, Valyria.
Yeah.
They're slaves in Valyria before the Doom took out Valyria. So I even saw some fan theories saying that they might have ended up causing the Doom. Like, they killed the people that tracked the volcanoes, and then the volcanoes go off.
Well, here's the thing, though. I don't think we like the volcano theory is...
we still don't
theory.
Even know...
We don't know what the Doom actually was.
Yeah, so that is still... a game theory. But back to the gods thing, the ambiguity does help, because again, that's how it functions. I think the only ones
that you can definitively say are fake are the seven, or what's the current main religion.
But when you think about it, there's a through line to a lot of these. Like, the many-faced God sounds a lot like the seven. When you think about it, is a one God represented by multiple different aspects of itself. The old gods sound like they'd be tangentially related to the Lord of Light, because I'm right with you. The Lord of Light has brought people back to fucking life. So clearly there's something there.
At least two of them.
At least two of them. But one of them multiple
times. And made a shadow baby.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. So clearly this person has some insight. But that's on, like... Just like in real life, how the Abrahamic religions often depict the same events that happened in history, I feel like a lot of Martin's religions could be different cultures interpreting something in history differently. Like,
do you also know who Lady Stoneheart is?
Yes. Okay. I do know some of the stuff that's book only. Yes, okay. I do.
So
3
I don't know what religion she would be related to, or how she came back. Because she was definitely killed.
Yes, she was absolutely killed. And I know who brought her back. It was the priest guy. Beric Dondarrion.
Oh, was him?
Yes. Huh. The Brotherhood Without Banners found her in the river after the Red Wedding. Spoiler alert. Revived her, and she joins them.
Okay.
Seeking revenge, of course. But... like I was saying, like when you think of the old gods too, they're faceless, nameless spirits of nature in a way. And a lot of the feats they have had are nature-based. I think like the big tree warding off the White Walkers.
Right.
Which is, again, it's still related to the old gods. That's a werewood tree. That's the three-eyed raven that's been warging to Bran the whole fucking story. So that's like old god related. But that could still tie into fire and ice, the Lord of Light and the other.
And just magic in general, like whatever the magic is.
That they put up the wall with.
Yeah. Which is some strong-ass magic, because dragons refuse to fly over it.
Yes. Like, there's actual warding to it, too. Like, it literally is made to, like, actually keep the White Walkers away. Like, magically, too. Not just being a giant fucking fuck-off wall.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I feel like it's a bunch of cultures getting one piece of the actual puzzle and running with it. In my opinion.
Yeah.
Sorry, I've thought about George R.R. Martin's depiction of religion a lot. I think it's one of the most interesting things in Game of Thrones.
Yeah, well, Lord of the Rings, because, like, Tolkien was super Catholic, and he fought in World War One. So, well, he wrote a lot of the beginning write-ins was while he was fighting in World War One.
Yeah.
So, both of those two things heavily influence Lord of the Rings.
And that's what I mean by, like, 80-20 rule, because religion is definitely not what Game of Thrones' whole thing is built on. It's built on history.
Mm-hmm.
Just like there is politics in fucking Lord of the Rings, obviously, but it's not built on being a political story. It's built on being a religious analog.
Yeah, and there's a lot of Anglo-Saxon stuff in there, too, because he was an Anglo-Saxon teacher.
Yes. Like, because, again, clearly these men did research in all aspects. It's just what's the bone of the story.
I think it's just more badass that Tolkien invented Elvish and was like, you know what, this language needs a story.
It's
and
badass
then decided
that Tolkien invented a lot of things that are still used way too much, to be fair. Like, people need to start making their own things, but it's so hard.
Well, literally anything fantasy related today has its roots in Tolkien.
Yes.
Because elves...
Tolkien begets D&D, begets a billion other things, begets a billion other things.
Because without Tolkien, elves are still Santa's helpers. Without Tolkien, wizards don't exist. Wizards were just like... Wizards weren't these badass old dudes with
They're the guy
spells.
that wears blue pajamas.
Yeah. And...
He cooks up crack in his backyard.
Exactly. And, like, there's other things that I'm not thinking of right now that he brought... he brought a lot of things, like dwarves, too. Dwarves weren't cool.
They're still not cool. Stop that.
Dwarves are fucking cool.
I will argue that one for a century, sir.
No, dwarves are awesome.
No mortal being designed to only go up to my waist is cool to me.
Hobbits.
They are not cool.
They are definitely cool.
No. They're iconic.
A hobbit saved the world, bud. Not really, though. I think there's 3, but 2 that I can think of. It's only 2 times that God intervened in the world. One of which was to make the world round when it used to be flat. And that's a whole story. I won't get into that.
Thank you. And was the other one to make the giant light tree? Or 2 giant light trees?
Well, he made those originally, because that was before the sun and moon were a thing.
Mm-hmm. I remember that from my research.
Yes. World was flat. People tried to invade, and he was like, no, making it round, sinking this island, putting Valinor in another dimension, so you can't just walk to Valinor anymore and try and fuck with people. The second time was to make Golem trip inside Mount Doom.
I remember that one from you telling me.
Yeah. So Golem tripping and falling into the lava pit was Eru's doing. Because Frodo actually fails. At the very end of the story, he claims the ring instead of destroying it. Right at the very end of the journey. But yeah, that's that.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Well, I don't think we have time to fit... Well, we could fit Kaiju in that time.
I only read... I'm 1 behind. I think. Pretty sure.
He punched him real good then.
Did something interesting happen in the newest chapter?
Yeah, but it wasn't a huge
punched him harder?
No, something did happen. But that's about as deep as it goes.
Yeah, I know he's about to transform, right?
Oh, yeah, no, the end of this chapter is kind of like a banger.
fighting. Oh, looks like he got his head cut off. Oh, nope, he didn't.
The dialogue is literally meaningless, this chapter. It's all...
I'll go back and read it.
Yeah.
All the neutralized kaiju are fucking coming back.
In all of Japan.
Oh, wow.
It's when you see Narumi again, that's like...
Right there.
Mm-hmm.
Boom, boom, boom. What did she say? I assume you've already studied his movement patterns through my vision in advance. Well, what?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how I like that, but
I like the concept. That I do have one nitpick that I immediately thought. I was like, I'll forgive it this one time. Who's doing ocular surgery that fast on the battlefield? You don't just boop, boop. Here, let's trade eyeballs.
is that what happened there? I didn't really, like I said, I didn't read.
Be.
Because I didn't look at him. Is he missing eyes now?
They're bleeding.
But they've been bleeding.
But they're not missing. There's eyeballs in his sockets when he goes. Then. Yeah. So
How'd
they
he get
traded eyeballs somehow.
How did he get... Oh, does his eyes not have the plus symbol now?
No.
The fuck is this, Naruto? When you can just
I know!
and jump past someone and just grab a fucking eye out?
Battlefield medic? Like, who connected the retinas? Like, that's a complicated surgery. They made it sound like a complicated surgery when Narumi first talked about having it.
I didn't know it was a complicated surgery. I didn't know that was a thing.
I would assume they replaced his eyeballs with monster eyeballs.
Again, I didn't know that was a thing. I just thought that's how his eyes were and thought it was a cool feature.
That's Kaiju number 1.
Oh.
Yeah, he has Kaiju eyeballs. And apparently he just went, boop, here you go, Shinomiya. And then she pops out her eyeballs. Thanks, let me just feel out where your hands are. Okay, did I grab the right ones? Cool, boop.
So I get it where you gotta think that like the new generation in your manga has to surpass the old generation, but I don't like it when they do it in a way that...
It's biologically?
No, that takes away from the old generation.
Yeah.
Okay... Like, kind of like...
I don't even like when it copies the old generation.
I don't like it when they do it towards the end of a series like this. So, like, My Hero did it, right? Where it's like, All Might was done from the beginning, and he's like, I gotta pass on my thing. So it's like, giving All for One to Deku, got rid of All for One from All Might, and we knew that out the gate, episode 1 or 2, we knew that's what was gonna happen. So we knew that immediately, but now... At the end of the series, 150 chapters in.
Every single day I'm more convinced that it's going to be the end of the series.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. I think so. Yeah, too. I think
I think I'm kind of ready to open up another manga slot in my life, so I'm not that butthurt anymore.
Are we JJK in this?
We're JJK in this.
I want this to end.
Yep, we're done.
They mentioned, the Giguk and Library of Ohara mentioned that, too. They're like, about how... when reading JJK too, they're like the fan base and himself were just like, is this over yet? Or just let this be over.
It was taking too long, man.
And like, because they were talking about how, how One Piece has kept its quality up as like going for the long series, but
I can see the transition there.
Other ones haven't. Like then they went to like say how Naruto's war arc, but they were very light on Naruto. I would have been a lot heavier. Yeah.
We are a lot heavier.
Yeah. And then they were like how JJK, people just wanted it to end. Give me my memories. And then they brought up Oshinoko briefly, like, yeah, I guess Oshinoko had a bad one. And then there was one other one they mentioned. And I was like, yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if they threw out Chainsaw Man's name.
I don't think they did. But I'm like sitting here, like, yeah, man, a lot of manga have been just flopping their endings lately, huh? Mm-hmm. JJK. My Hero. Yeah, they meant that's what My Hero. But then they said how the epilogue chapter kind of fixed things.
Yeah, but that's why there's always an epilogue chapter because they keep flubbing the endings.
Maybe that's why Black Clover's taken eons to end.
You gotta think how they had to patch up Promised Neverland's ending, even though they didn't have to patch it up. Like we discussed,
I like the original ending better.
Happy endings. Well, again,
it doesn't need to be a happy ending. Yeah. It needs to be a conclusive ending.
And again, if if a fan wanted a happy ending, they'll invent the happy ending themselves. Like that epilogue chapter.
Leave it ambiguous like
fan
Code
fiction.
Geass did, because Code Geass has the greatest ending of all time.
Then look at half of the fan base immediately was like, "Oh, that's Lelouch on that cart,"
and everyone's like,
they patched that together.
Yeah, and everyone's like, "No, she's talking like how
to seize worlds,
or just like in general, like how you would talk
to the memory of him.
Yeah. Yes,
that's the best shit. And again, the Promised Neverland one that could have easily been imagined by a fan. It's just making the heavily ever after. Actually, goes back to an Undertale vid I watched where the guy says I think it was Super Eye Patch Wolf. You're at the end of the story, you save a kid that's from the lore. As far as I'm even going to go deep in that. He walked all the way back to where you first start in Undertale, and the kid's there. And as you're talking, eventually the kid goes, "Why are you still here? Like, go live." It's just like, it's almost like him telling you, "Hey, there's nothing more to have here. If you want more, go make more. Go make something."
that's awesome.
It just reminded me of that.
Yeah, so hopefully Kaiju doesn't fall into that, because I don't think it's at that point right now. It's like,
No. If they drag out this fight for like 10 more chapters, maybe.
Yeah.
It feels like it should last 5 more, and then they should have some like tying of loose ends
Look,
stuff.
I think that you should be okay with, like, it doesn't need to, like JJK ended too fast, I would say. Like, in the same way, it didn't end fast enough. I think that those last few chapters, putting a number, but like JJK's ended in 5 chapters. So each week we were like 4 more chapters, 3 more chapters. That was bad.
That was really bad.
Don't do that.
I hate knowing how long I have. It makes me more critical.
Because, like, that last chapter just stuffed things in there. So, like, you have to have, like, 3 speech bubbles over here explaining all this stuff. Like, you could drag some... You should be able to show us that stuff. Don't be like... Don't have Maki have 3 voice bubbles explaining to us what's happening to this person, and this person.
If you're going to have a tie-up in last 2 chapters, you shouldn't be wasting it on characters no one has any emotional attachment with.
Yeah.
That's for sure. There was so much bullshit in those last 2 chapters. That whole thing with Mei getting vague revenge for... I loved him too. Sword coward guy. Wore a trench coat. Didn't do anything. Kusakabe.
Didn't do anything.
Thank you for stepping up for my boy when I'm not. But like, she went and got like vague revenge for him against the new Shadow Style clan. A plot line that was set up like the chapter before it.
Yeah,
it was garbage. We got to learn what artist guy is doing.
Look,
I don't even know some of these people's names.
Why couldn't we have because they do in the last chapter, it shows them go on like one more
mission. Yeah.
Why couldn't that just be 3 chapters of just a regular fun standard mission? You got the gang back together
again.
Quick hangout, some nice banter. Then you slow burn it at the end. You don't need to like jam everything into one chapter and end it immediately. You can
see his burnout in it. Because again, if he had 3 weeks to write it, I would really hope to think that Katana guy wouldn't have shown up.
Kusakabe?
No, the guy who just says Katana all the time from the Culling Games arc. A different Katana guy. The Katana! Sumo! Those guys, the ones that trained Maki in a hyperbolic time chamber.
Yeah.
Why are they there? Who cares? There's no one hanging fan art of Sumo and Katana guy on their walls. Also, yes.
There's not. And I'm just like Oshinoko too. You could tell he was kind of wanting to wrap that story up because he wanted to move on to his next thing. He's doing writing a co-manga with somebody, and I'm like, everyone agrees that Oshinoko had more than what it had. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I know how it ends. And I'm like, I'm an anime only. I haven't read the manga. I know very few moments that happen in it, but
do you know if they ended up doing the bad thing?
There is no incest.
Thank God. It's so much more complicated than even just the word incest because the whole reincarnating thing too.
But
it's like literally every bag of worms.
So But she never even gets... I don't think she even gets to tell him that she knows. Because she knows that who he is, but he doesn't even know that she...
Yeah.
They know each other since babies.
I remember the lore.
In the first in the first episode, they knew each other reincarnated, but they never asked about each other's previous lives. They never bring it up.
Yeah.
But she figured out who he was and that she knew him. But I don't think he ever figured out who she was. And then his two actual love interests, one of them never even got to express stuff, and it's just to kill him off in the end is just I think it was
it's a botch job.
I think what it was that it was supposed to be like a shock cliffhanger. That chapter when they ends with them both under the water, and then he's like, you know what, fuck it, I'm just gonna kill them both here, and then just wrap it up with one more chapter. Instead of being like, oh no, actually this happened, and it drags out for another 10, 12 chapters to finish up, which is what should have happened, in my opinion.
I think we need to just normalize shorter manga and also normalize making long manga again at the same time.
Yeah, I think you should have... Well, because it's only One Piece right now.
It is.
And...
I would include Black Clover. They've gotten pretty long, and they're still going, technically.
No, well, that's what I was going to say, because Black Clover could be in it, but we know Black Clover is going to end within 2-3 more chapters of the big release ones.
Yeah. 2-3 more drops, we'll put it that way.
And, I mean, Chainsaw Man's longish. It's 100.
There's no telling when Chainsaw Man's going to end, honestly.
Well, now that the Death Devil has been introduced.
Yeah, after they hit me with the part 2 reveal, though, I almost expected to be... Shueisha to jump back in and be like,
Part
Fujimoto,
3.
We're not done making money. You really pulled it together with that reveal, huh? Part 3.
So, I think that they should try... Well, because, again, KaguraBachi looks like it's going to be one of the... Like a kaiju length, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
that's what I would estimate.
I think they should try and invest into maybe one or two. You don't need a lot. You need because they got
Literally
Sakamoto
one.
Days.
Yeah, and there's no telling how long Spy Family is going to go to.
And Witch Watch. So they have some longer run ones.
Yeah, Undead Unluck's ending, isn't it? Or
it did end, I believe.
Oh god.
But it's so you could maybe try and look for one more, but hey, we got to find in our method some way to find out our next long run series.
Yeah, which one of these should we extend?
And then figure out some smaller stuff. Like a good 75 to 100 chapter run. You know what I mean? Or maybe 100, 120.
Would have actually done a better job just making a shorter contained story.
Well, it is pretty short. I think it's only 100 I don't even know. I feel like it's only 150 chapters at max.
But either way, we have to wrap this up.
Yeah. 166 chapters total.
Oh, yeah, that's not bad at all, yeah. So, normalize that. And
or even just somewhere around the 100 chapter mark. You know what I mean? Because I think that's a good...
Yeah.
So how many... I'll look it up afterwards, but how many chapters was Full Metal Alchemist? Was that even a manga?
Yes, it was.
Because that's... What's that? 50 episode anime?
Yeah, about 52, I think. And it's 108 chapters. What up?
I'm
perfect.
Woo! I'm good.
So yes, agreed.
Yeah. Get some more of those.
Okay, one last bit of information. You know the best part about that boys' love I mentioned earlier? It's getting an anime.
The Parasite one? Oh, nice. But yeah, I think we're gonna end it there. It's been the Dukes of Weebdom. Episode 102. Manga recap. We'll get back on the consistency.
Yes.
Get back to that with some of the...
Once I catch up on all the things I was inconsistent on.
We need to get a run on Astro Baby, because that's been pretty good. I'm 2 or 3 behind. I think you're 6 or 7 behind now.
Yeah, I'm 6 or 7 behind for sure.
All right, guys, take care. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
Peace.